if it works, it works, and I just fall in love with it. Some of them are a little glittery, more glittery. Oh my goodness, I'm a disaster today. It's so strong. It almost smells carbonated. Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Today will be February's faves and flops. I'm sorry, this one's a little bit late. So let's just get right into it and talk about my favorite products of February. Number one, we have a foundation that I actually have been extremely surprised with, and I'm super excited about it. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Believe It foundation and concealer. I think this is one of the first foundation plus concealers I've ever tried, and I kind of went in thinking it was going to be the most unbelievable coverage you've ever experienced. I don't think this is that. Now, that being said, I do think it is really high medium, pretty much full coverage, but there is a catch to this guy. So the first time I tested this, I did do two pretty good layers. A lot of these products I have tested these on my channel, so I will link the videos below. I wanted that like plastered, like full coverage. I want to see how much coverage it could get. Now that is where I went wrong. It's immediately within like 30 to 40 minutes, like I wasn't even done filming and I noticed it had separated. I don't know if you've ever experienced almost where it looks like there's little holes in your foundation. It's like separating. So in this case, there was too much product. That is the only con to this. You just want to be mindful of how much. This is the type of product that a little goes a long way. So for example, it doesn't completely cover my acne spots. So I can like slightly build like maybe just a little extra dab on top of there, but I'm not going to go full 2 layers because that's when things get cakey. So if you apply just one good layer of this, it honestly is one of the most flawless foundations. Like I'm really enjoying this since I've been testing it more off camera. Second time I tested it, I really thought it was just a total flop. I was like, okay, but before I, tell you guys this sucks, I'm going to try it again. So the second time I only did one pump and I said, this is all I'm going to do. So I did one good layer and then I just used concealer on my blemishes. Now for the rest of my face, other than my blemishes, it was completely full coverage, but over top of my acne scarring and my blemishes, that's where I just wanted a little bit of extra coverage. And that's where I just have gone in with my concealer. When I did that, honestly, worlds of a difference. It looked super flawless, super lightweight, and it actually looked so natural and just perfect. Like it looked really smooth. It had great coverage and it looked very healthy, and it just made my skin honestly look really flawless. I was obsessed, and it wore well. Like it didn't break down by the end of the day. I've also tested that 2 or 3 more times doing that, and it did the same thing. So with this guy, it's a unbelievably beautiful foundation. It looks like a part of your skin. It sits nicely and soaks into your skin beautifully. And it does deliver really good coverage. Is it like the most full coverage foundation? No, it's not. I have more full coverage foundations than this, but it has that beautiful natural finish that I absolutely love. Now, concealer layers really well on top of it. So it's just, this is the type of product that you have to be careful. Like if you use too much, that's when it can go kind of sideways. So, but really beautiful. I'm actually wearing it today. So if you watched the video where I reviewed this foundation, what a difference this foundation looks when you apply a more moderate amount, not caking it on and layering it on. Honestly stunning. I love this guy. Moving on, we have another foundation. This guy is the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. It is natural finish. It has medium buildable coverage, but it does build. It builds better than this guy, so you can put a good 2 layers on with this. This one I'd say is maybe just slightly more full coverage than the e.l.f. one. It has a little bit more coverage off the bat, but it doesn't build as well. Whereas this guy is a more medium coverage on first layer, but with 2 layers, you can get it to a pretty high medium to full coverage. So really stunning, very beautiful natural finish. It has those really nice skincare ingredients, so it's good for your skin. It has SPF. It sits nicely. It becomes a part of your skin. It looks very lightweight and natural, and it looks great pretty much all day. I do find that this one is a little more hydrating than this one. If you have normal to dry, this will be perfect for you. If you have more combo to oily, it still is stunning on combination skin, but I would just make sure you're using mattifying, maybe a mattifying setting spray and definitely like, you know, setting it with a powder. And it's honestly a stunning foundation. So the next thing that we have is another drugstore, and these are from Colourpop. So Colourpop, as you know, if you've watched my channel, I love my Colourpop stuff, and these are absolutely stunning as well. These are the mini eyeshadow palettes. We actually have 2 dupes this month. So the e.l.f. is a pretty close dupe to the It Cosmetics CC Cream. I would say it's pretty darn close. And then these, I would say, are a good dupe for the Natasha Denona minis. They're basically like, you can even see, it definitely looks like it's supposed to be a bit of a dupe. I know these got mixed reviews because some of the textures in here, like they have different textures. So they have mattes, they have metallics, and then they have some more glitter shades. Then a lot of them had sequins. I've heard reviews and some people didn't like the sequin formula. With sequin formulas, the thing is, it's actually a really stunning formula. You can actually just use it in the crease. And when you fluff it on with a brush, you're gonna mainly get the pigment, like the base, the matte base. So it's just gonna act as another matte shade. You will get a few flecks of glimmer, like shimmer in there, and it just can kind of create a beautiful, stunning look. Some of them are a little glittery, more glittery than others. Sorry, I can't speak. The Struck shade from the more warm toned one, which is the Crush palette. This one definitely has a very prominent glitter to it. And so that, when you have ones like that, if you press them on the lid, it's going to give really, really pigmented base, but then in certain lights you'll see the glimmer, and it's actually really stunning. So I really enjoyed these. I think that they were very well put together. I loved the color scheme. They're only $10 US, and so they're a good cheap option and a smaller, more travel friendly. I just really loved the color schemes of all of them. I thought they were easy to use and you could create multiple different looks with each one, and they're cheap. So I really enjoyed those. Now, since we were talking about the Natasha Denona, I really enjoyed the Valentine's Day collection. This palette from Natasha Denona may be one of my favorites. It's the Mini Love palette. It's a beautiful, it's a good mixture between purple and pink, but I do think it's dominantly purple, with those matte shades being pretty purple. The metallic shades are really pigmented, and I mean, I don't have to talk about Natasha Denona's formula. It's incredible. If you don't know that, believe me, it is. They're very unique colors. They're very stunning formulas, and I love her mini palettes because if you want to test out her formula, it is a cheaper option. These are only $25 US. If you're looking for something, the idea of a mini palette, these are less than half the price. So obviously these are going to be a better option for those of you on a budget. But I do have to say that as much as I love Colourpop and as much as I love those mini palettes that I just talked about, I just think it's a little bit of a step up with Natasha Denona. I highly suggest even just the mini palettes. They're a good investment. They still give you enough to create multiple different looks, and I really liked that one. I will link the review below. I did an everyday look, like a super simple everyday look, and a glam look, and I loved them both. Oh my goodness, I'm a disaster today. Look at my lips. I'm really sorry, guys. I had like 3 layers of lip products on. I tried to apply all of my favorites, but that kind of backfired, did it not? Oh man. Okay, well that looks a little bit better. I'm really sorry, guys. I looked like a total hot mess. And I do really like this lipstick as well. I wasn't going to include this in today's video because I feel like a lot of her I Need a Nude lipsticks are very similar because the idea behind it is that they're all nude shades, so they're going to just have slightly different undertones. But I just really like this one. It's a little bit more pink. It's not as peachy. Now, I love my peachy nudes, but I do love my pinky nudes as well. And this is a stunning lipstick, very creamy, smoothing to the lips. The next collection that I loved every single thing from. If it works, and I just fall in love with it. So the next one is the Pat McGrath Divine Rose 2 collection. Now, I already have the Mega palette. That one wasn't new, but I got the quad, and let me tell you, I love me this quad. I honestly absolutely loved the look that I was able to create with this palette. I totally was obsessed. I also have used it multiple times since, and I have created many different looks, super natural to more glam, and I really enjoy this quad. It is pricey. It is quite pricey. But if you like Pat McGrath and you have the money to invest, I think this is one of my favorite color schemes of hers. It actually impressed me more than I expected it to. And the formulas are just so good. Her metallics, her duochromes, and her mattes all through and through are incredible. So A+ to that. It also had the Pat McGrath Labs Permagel Lip Liner. Never tried this. Can't believe I'd never tried it. One of the longest wearing lip liners I've ever tried in my life. Definitely super long wearing. When I reviewed this stuff, I did a little wear test on the lip products and absolutely fell in love with this. It was still there after eating. Like the liquid lipstick had worn off, but the lip liner was there. Like it was insane. And I am wearing this lip liner and it's in the shade Suburbia. It's like a beautiful rosy shade. The liquid lipstick is also stunning as well. It's a really thin, comfortable formula. It isn't drying, yet it is quite matte, and it does last a decent amount of time. It's not the longest wearing liquid lipstick I've ever tried, but the reason it's in today's video is because it's so thin and comfortable, and it is extremely matte, but it also doesn't dry out my lips, and it does last well. The applicator is so easy to use, so if you did have to touch it up throughout the day, it is extremely easy to do so. So the next product that I'm actually wearing today on my eyes is the Naked Urban Decay Wild West palette. I really, really enjoyed this. There's quite a few transition shades. Their matte formula was through and through in this palette really great. There were mixed reviews on this, but I personally think it was a very, great quality palette. I created 2 different looks in my review, one more natural using the browns and the golds. Again, a good range from light transition to dark, crease definition shades. They have a selection of warm tones and cool tones, so I think that a lot of different, preferences will be met in this palette, and I love the pops of blue in there. I really, really do. It's nice to play around with some color on the lower lash line like I did today, but it was also, I did a full blue look when I did my review, and they really quality-wise pulled through, and I think they're just pigmented, they're blendable, they mesh well together. The only thing I will say is I think people are a little bit disappointed in these 2 shades here. They're not the most pigmented upon swatch. They're a bit of a thinner formula, so you'll see that they are not the most striking metallics. They're the type of formula that's a little bit more sheer, but they're buildable, and when you wet them, they really pop. But they're just some of the most finely milled metallics in terms of eyeshadow that I've ever, played with. So I do really, really enjoy that formula. If you're having trouble with these 2 shades, the shades called Hold'em and Cowboy Rick, either build them up or wet them, and I promise you, you will have a better experience with them. One of the last products in today's faves is the Physicians Formula All-Star Palette. So it comes with their typical original Maru Maru Butter Bronzer. It comes with the Matte Mon Noir Bronzer, which in my opinion isn't a total drastic difference from the Maru Maru one. I think it has a really creamy, pigmented, and blendable finish. I do think it is a slightly more matte. This one has a bit of almost a healthy glow type sheen, not glittery. It is matte, but it just has that kind of healthy, almost a radiant matte finish, and this is a more matte finish. The only thing is this is a little bit orange. You are somebody that's totally against an orange bronzer, either use this more moderately or that shade specifically might not be for you, but I am I usually don't like orange bronzers at all. And this was borderline for me, but it was still definitely usable. And I do really enjoy it. If I were to pop some on here, if I were to go over here, you're going to see right away what I mean. It is a little orange. It added quite a bit of warmth, but it isn't too bad. It's definitely wearable, but it's not something I would go in really, really heavily with because it is a little bit orange for my skin tone. If you like a more warm orange bronzer, this can be perfect for you. Highlights, both of them are really, really beautiful. A beautiful blush. Absolutely love this blush. And this is a multicolored pressed powder. You can use it actually to set the face, and I have done so, and it's pretty good. So all around, I think this is a stunning palette. And the reason it's in today's video is obviously because I liked every product in here, but it's also because in my opinion, it's a good value. The bronzers individually are $25. This palette was $28. Now that's in Canadian prices, but really, really good. You probably get less of each product, but you get more variety for a better price in my opinion. So love that. Couple more guys, bear with me. The Professional Super Setter. I've used this probably 8 or 9 times and really, really enjoy it. I actually forgot to set my face, so I'm gonna go ahead and do so. The mister is so fine. It feels so refreshing. It doesn't, you know, leave any spots. It doesn't make your face look too radiant, yet it does give you a bit of a glow, but it really just smooths your makeup out. Like it merges everything together and makes it look like one. It helps, you know, kind of set everything in place and together and helps it last long. I just really love the mister. I am really impressed with the formula. Does it make your pores completely minimized or blurred? No, it doesn't. But does it actually help smooth out your skin a little bit? I do believe so, and I think that's because it's a nice formula, and so it's going to melt all your makeup together, kind of take away from that powder finish and give you a bit more of an airbrushed, flawless finish. So I really enjoy this guy as well. This one is from Essence, so it is the Stay 8-Hour Lip Liner. I really enjoy this. It's extremely long wearing, like extremely long wearing. It is waterproof, and it actually is like comparable to the Pat McGrath in terms of wear time. I do think these are similar in terms of formula. Like they're more of that, like not waxy, like not, when I say waxy, it's not a bad thing. Like if anything, it's a good thing. They are extremely creamy and comfortable, but they do have a bit more firmness once they're on your lip. So that's how it's gonna help them hold up all day. And I do believe that this is a similar formula. This is in the shade So Default, and it is like a beautiful, it's actually somewhat similar to the Pat McGrath shade, just a little bit more warm toned, a little bit more like kind of peachier a little bit. So I really like that. And the last fave is the NYX Shine Loud. This is a favorite for one reason, but it's not perfect. It is a liquid lipstick on one side. Beautiful applicator, extremely easy to apply. You can get really crisp lines. I don't even use a lip liner when I use this. You apply it. You have to let it sit for like 60 to 90 seconds. It gets sticky. It gets real sticky, like to the point where your lips stick together and it's uncomfortable. So that I don't love, but once you apply this shiny clear gloss on the other end, the stickiness completely goes away, and even when the gloss kind of goes away, it doesn't come back. So once you apply the gloss, it's gone, which is great. So to me, that stickiness isn't really a bad thing because the gloss, I'm gonna take that away. The only thing is I definitely wouldn't be able to use this side on its own. So if you're looking for a really matte liquid lipstick, this isn't gonna be it. This is definitely something that's you're gonna need to use the gloss for it to be comfortable. I have taken too long, like I took like 5 minutes, and the stickiness did start to go away on its own, but I do think that the gloss helps keep it look lively because it is an extremely drying formula. So I know you're probably thinking like, okay, are we talking about flops now? Because this sounds not so great. But I'm just kind of giving you all the information. So it is a quite drying formula, and by the end of the day, your lips do start to look a little bit dry. But the reason I love this guy, this is the guy that I go to when I need a lipstick on all day long. This I've worn for like 8 or 9 hours and it hasn't even budged. Like maybe a little bit on the inside. Like it's there all day long. What the longest, 100%, it's the longest wearing liquid lipstick I've ever tried, ever. It is 100% transfer proof. The only time I ever saw anything on my hand when I did like the kiss test is if I had like a little bit on the inner part of my lip. You can like rub your lip and it doesn't come off. I go to when I want to make sure it's gonna stay there, it's not gonna bleed. A lot of the time, the way that my lips are and shaped, when I talk, it bleeds out the side of my lips. You saw it today. And even some of the best products will do that, but this guy does not. And I am able to apply gloss on top, because that's usually what happens is when I apply gloss, it's like too much product and it starts to pool in the inner corners of my mouth, and then that's when it starts to bleed outside the inner corners. So I can apply a gloss and it still doesn't go anywhere. It's not going anywhere all day. So the only complaint is that it is drying. If they could create this exact formula that doesn't get quite as dry, then it would be my favorite, hands down. Okay, did I actually make it through all that? No, I did not, because I have one more. So the last one is the Maybelline Master Precise All Day. I have it in the matte. It is a felt tip liquid liner. The reason I love this guy is number one, it's a beautiful matte liquid liner. It's very pigmented, it's easy to use, it glides easily, all those things. Best thing about this, does not bleed in my inner corners. That's my biggest complaint about liquid liner, is that it bleeds in my inner corners. Like, I have really bad inner corners for that, and this guy does not at all. Like, it's there all day and it does not bleed in like at all. So absolutely love this for that reason, among many, but that's my favorite thing about this is it does not bleed, and it is quite waterproof. Like when I go to wipe my eye at the end of the day, doesn't just come off in one wipe. So it is gonna hold up throughout the day. So now we have a few flops and then we're done. Thank you for being patient, guys. I know that was a lot to go through for one video. So number one product that I can't get into is the Ciate London Velvet Palette. I got this in a BoxyCharm box. Now, when you take a look at it, do they not look like... It fell right out of the thing. I've never dropped this before. It literally fell right out. I'm gonna take a video of this so you guys can see. It fell right out and one of the shades just broke all over the floor. Like 5 or 6 of the shades just broke. So this is what we've got. Clearly packaging wise, it's not that great either. And I kind of could tell by the feel of it anyways. I guess I'll swatch what's left. Pigmentation wise, it's just not really there. Like that's like a peachy shade. It's just, they're extremely creamy. They really are extremely creamy, but like you can see the pigmentation just, it almost looks muted. It's just quality-wise, it wasn't there. The mattes weren't as rich and pigmented as I would have liked. They didn't even actually blend out as well as I would have hoped, especially since considering they're so velvety and creamy to the touch. They really just kind of fade away as you blend them. We have a product that actually is not that bad. It's a nice plumping lip gloss, but the smell is horrific. I can't put my finger on the smell of this. It's so strong. As long as you're wearing it, you can smell it, you can taste it. It actually has made me physically feel sick. I felt nauseous when I was wearing this and I had to take it off. I hate the smell of this. It's a nice gloss. Don't get me wrong. It's a nice like pigmented gloss. It has like that super pins and needle, like kind of burning feeling. It's quite strong, like feeling wise as well. It's not like ultra plumping, but it's a nice gloss looks wise. Like it actually is making me feel sick right now. I can't handle it. It's the Rimmel Oh My Gloss Plump Gloss. So if you're sensitive to scent, I'm not even sensitive to scent. Don't mind a bit of fragrance. But this guy, if you have this and you've smelled it, what does this smell like? I can't put my finger on it. It's kind of citrusy. It almost smells carbonated. How does a gloss smell carbonated? Like what? I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird scent. I don't like it. Okay, the last product that I just couldn't get to like is the Too Faced Killer Liner. Now, before you guys come at me, because I know some people like this, before you guys come at me, I do like this on like the actual lid. So used as an actual liner, but when you use it in the waterline, oh, she's not transfer proof. She's not long wearing. The purpose of buying this was to actually, I'm in the hunt for a black liner for my upper waterline, that one that won't bleed onto my inner corner and my lower waterline. The claims made it seem like this would be the one, but it was the total opposite. It actually is one of the worst ones that I've tried in my upper waterline. It is one of the worst for transfer. So I don't love this guy for waterline. And it also didn't wear that long because I wore it for like what, 7 hours, 6 or 7 hours. And there was like little holes in it on my lower waterline. So it was like patchy. It was like not even staying on my lower waterline. So this is definitely not my favorite pencil liner, and it's not the first one I'd recommend. I'm actually still looking, so stay tuned. Eventually, hopefully, I will have a good recommendation for you, but this is just not it. It just missed the mark. Now, if you have this and you like it, that's great. Like, don't stop using it. And it is really nice. Like, you can create an extremely stark, it's a very rich black, and it is quite matte. And so I do like it for the upper lash line. But for me personally, that's not what I use pencil liners for. I use pencil liners for the waterline more than anything because I like a liquid liner. So to me, if it's gonna be that bad in the waterline, it's not good for me. So that's just my personal opinion. Those are my faves and flops of February. Thank you so much for sticking around. I know we just talked about a lot of product. I hope that this was helpful. If you did enjoy, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for your support and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.